Hey everyone, I'm Kandyce.
I'm Latoya.
And I'm Sher'l.
And we are Sisters Unscripted.
Thank you so much for joining us.
We are completely unscripted, where we talk about all the things, all the shit, whatever we want, from the eyes of Black sisters. So stay and kick it with us.
Let's get into it.
Hello, sister.
Hello.
Sher'l is not with us today. She's actually on vacation, soaking up the sun. So I'm super jealous. Very jealous. But I'm actually super happy for her too, because she deserves the vacation and can't wait to hear about all her stories. I haven't seen a lot of pictures, but some of her pictures that she has posted, I'm like, oh,
I know that purple dress. I was like, I want that, but
so cute.
I can't be wearing things like that right now. It's too cold.
So how have you been doing?
Busy as always. So I'm pretty sure people will realize that in season 2. I've just been so busy this season, just grateful and also trying to find moments of rest, but I have not been successful in finding the rest that I need. And then if I'm resting, then my body goes, oh, it's time for you to really rest. And y'all know what that means. I'm knocking on wood right now so I don't manifest any kind of thing. But yeah, I've been really busy. So just trying to figure out how to keep the blessings coming and slow down. I'm really excited. I've been working really hard on trying to get the music memorized and lyrics memorized so I can just go in day one ready to go.
And you're doing it with Gray. That's so exciting.
I am. People probably don't know who he is.
Yeah, I don't know who he is, but that's okay. I'm sure there'll be pictures and stuff like that you post, and we'll share that on our pages and whatnot. But it's pretty cool to see the little mini reunion that you have going on. And then the girl from Whitelisted.
Yes.
It was really cool to see her in there. She was super talented.
Well, it's crazy too. The other actor in that male actor is a friend that I worked with out in Denver.
Really? When you were doing Christmas Carol?
Yep.
That's cool.
Isn't that wild? I was just like, well, the arts in theater or even music or museums or film, it is so small, y'all. So
it really is.
I've met so many people who know the same people that I run circles in that are in different artistic circles. It's wild.
How is the person that's from Denver? Are they here locally now, or are they just here for the show?
They are here locally now. He actually has a very well-known family that a lot of Utah folks will know or know who his family is, and they do a show every holiday season that is pretty famous here in Utah. So he comes from that family.
That's pretty cool.
He's the coolest.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Trying to get them vocals right.
They're gonna be just fine. What's the vocal range that you have to produce in the show?
My gosh.
Are you up there in the rafters?
Yes, I have to belt. I don't know what note it is. I've been trying to figure out how to mix it, but the mix doesn't work. So I'm trying to figure out how to go into a mix and then switch into the chest voice so I can belt it and then find parts where I can go back into my mix. So yeah, so I can do it all and also do it healthily so I can keep it consistent and do when I have to do 2 shows in one day.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. But I did it yesterday. I was very proud of myself. I was like, oh, I think that's what it's supposed to be.
Yay!
So
I love that for you. Well, I'm excited to see it. When do you guys open?
We open in April and runs until the early May.
Okay. The Passing Strange slot.
Mm-hmm.
Aww,
yes.
I miss that show. All the
The
time.
magical slot. Me too.
We're going to get into a couple things before we get into the topic today. We've been starting to play around with the Am I the Asshole? I've been hearing it like a lot lately on podcasts or in general, like when I'm having regular conversations with people, and they'll say, oh my goodness, I was reading Reddit and I saw this thread on Am I the Asshole? And so, but this didn't come from Reddit. I was actually just on Instagram, and you know how we doom scroll sometimes. And there's this video of this lady. So she was filming it looked like she was on a date. And so it looked like she was filming the half-eaten steak and food. There's a couple of plates in front of her. And she turned it on herself and she said, "It's been 45 minutes. I think they left." So I guess what had happened, she told her date that she had kids and they said, "Oh, I need to go to the restroom." And then they never came back and left her with a bill.
Wow.
Yeah. I didn't see the entire context because it was somebody stitching the video. So it was somebody responding to the video, and the guy had said something like, I don't know the whole context here, but basically it said, you had to have done something, or you not done something, but more or less, why didn't you disclose that before the date? And maybe he wasn't aware, or maybe you guys had been talking for some time and that's why he left. He's like, I'm not condoning it. But the thing is like, we don't have all the context. But I think anyway, that even if this guy did know, I don't think you should leave. Like, or at least just like, don't just be a jerk and just ghost her, you know? You can be an adult and just say, you know what? Hey, this is not what I signed up for. Here's the money for the date since I asked you on the date. Or even just say, I'm going to pay for my meal and you can take care of yours. Something. But just to up and leave, I think that's wild. So I guess my question to you is, are they the asshole? Like, so I guess we can do it in both ways. Is she the asshole if, let's say, if this is how it went down? Is she the asshole for not disclosing that she had kids until the date? Or is he the asshole for leaving?
In this case, I'm going to say they're both the asshole.
Okay. Explain.
Because I mean, it sounds like, and mind you, once again, we also don't know the full
Right.
story, but it sounds like that information was not given while they were talking, that she has 2 kids. And I think that is really important information, especially if someone's just not ready for that. So that's like if they're into you, that's a big commitment for somebody who maybe doesn't have any children or are not looking to be in a relationship at that time with someone who has kids. Um, I so I would say that wasn't really cool on her part, withholding information. And I will say that was an asshole move on his part as well, because what are we, 12? Like, that's some bullshit. And leaving someone with a check, I just think that's classless and tasteless. I think you could be an adult about it, but I always say this. As adults, we are still children pretending to be adults because that's what we saw and we're told that we're supposed to be this way, but with bigger bills and bigger toys, and we don't got a lot of other people to depend on to financially support us. So I'm like, we're just all kids in the long run. We think that we're older and more mature than we actually are, but we're more kid-like than we think. And I think that was very childish of that person. I would be like, girl, do you want to have now 3 children in your life if you got 2 babies? Because then it sounds like this man is a baby too. So, because he can't be brave enough just be like, I'm not interested in
Right.
doing that. But like, finish out the date, pay for the check, finish the date. And it's okay to say, like, and I would hope that they both would be mature enough to be like, heard, I understand that. I still had a lovely time meeting you or whatever.
Yeah,
But that's like,
thank you for being honest with me, open and honest with me that this is not what you want moving forward, and thank you for not leaving.
right.
But I agree with you with the context that we do have, which again, we don't know if she disclosed that information or not. But I'm going to take the side of say they, because there's people out there that will just go on a date instantly without really a lot of chitter chatter. So let's say there was, hey, I'm into you. I like your profile page. Hey, I want to take you out on Friday, blah, blah, blah. And there was no discussion. I think that even makes more of the guy the asshole. Because if there was no prior discussion, then that's not her fault that information wasn't disclosed yet. because she didn't get an opportunity to disclose that yet until that first date.
Right. Well, that'd be different. Yeah, for sure.
Right. But again, we don't know the full context. But I do think that either way, the guy shouldn't have left, or at least been an adult about it and said, hey, I'm just not into this. Thanks for the time. I had a good time for what it was. I'm paying for the meal, or I'm paying for half of it. Can you cover the rest of yours? Yada, yada, yada.
Just pay for the damn meal.
I mean, I agree, especially if you ask them out.
Exactly.
But yeah, I just thought that was interesting.
Unless there's like a conversation between the two of them and being like, hey, like, I'll pay for my own, you pay for your own, it's totally cool, it's nice to meet you kind of thing. But like, yeah, if you ask someone out, like, unless there's a different conversation, then just finish the damn date.
Agreed.
You might actually meet someone really cool and you might become friends. So, and we all need some more connection and friendships in this world, and especially after 2020. So it's like, what's the harm? And I mean, finish the damn thing and then you're done. And if you don't like each other like that, or you're not ready for that kind of shit, then just say that and move on. And hurt feelings will be hurt feelings, but that's for someone to navigate. You put yourself out there, and I commend people who do that in this world. It's
very
hard out
interesting
here for
a pimp
trying to make the money for the rent. And he left a steak.
That
left
was
a mistake.
And it was right, a mistake. And it was funny because the first thing that the guy that was stitching the video basically said, now ain't no man leaving that much steak on a table, because it was literally like they took one bite.
And then she was like, yeah, I got 2 babies. And he was like, I need to go to the bathroom. I'd be like, box this shit up or something. Not a full damn steak.
It was a full-on steak.
Unless you had like a cheap ass place, then I'd be like, I guess it'd be fine if it was like, I don't know. But still, it's a steak.
I mean, it was, I mean, I think her bill was over $75, and that was before tip.
Dang.
So the homegirl was left with all that.
I'd be like, box it up. I'm going to eat this.
Not the half-eaten steak.
I mean, I just cut off the part where he ate off of and keep the other half.
No, girl.
There's no harm with that if he hasn't like touched it, right?
Yeah, I ain't doing all that. Mm-mm.
I know. You and Will.
Listen, I don't even drink after my kids, okay? I never drink after my kids, even when they were little. I can't do it. I can't. And I don't drink after anybody. And there's people that are like, oh, just take a little sip. No, thanks. I'm good. Thank you. Thank you. Well, you can put your own straw in. No, thanks. I'm good. Your backwash is in there.
Ew, don't say that. It just makes me feel gross. Also, your nails are cute.
Oh, thank you.
I wish I was a naily girl. I'm not.
You could be.
I tried.
It takes some getting used to. There's just, you have to, it's not even just nails.
How do you get your contacts out without scratching your eyeball? And then also,
you use this part.
I tried, but I still was scratching my eyeball. But then, like, also, like, the ladies, and this is no disrespect to the folks who love them long ass nails, Yes, I'm like, how? And I asked my friend this because she had the long ass nails.
How do you wipe your ass?
I said, girl, how do you not like poke, like put, like hurt your asshole? Like, what is going on with that? And she was like, I don't know, you just pump it up and you wipe. And I was like, yeah, but like all the nails are still like out there with the tissue paper. Explain it. Make it make sense.
I saw some videos with Cynthia Erivo, and she was saying how she gets asked that question all the time with them nails.
I mean, let's be real. We all curious, okay? Because that does not look like a pleasant experience.
This is about as long as I go, and this is still kind of long for me. So
it's cute,
as long as I can type, and I can still get my contacts in and out, but I also don't wear contacts that often.
True.
Oh. It's usually my glasses.
She like wipes her ass and she's like, oh. And she hurt her ass.
See, just make sure you wash in between them nails, okay?
Also that, like, I have so many questions, but I don't know if I really want to know. Moving on.
Speaking of cleanliness, let's move on to this next thing that I saw online. I don't know if you've seen this, but this is viral right now. But did you see the lady that admitted, or so I guess she had said, one of my flight attendant friends told me that if you ever run out of clean underwear, you use the Keurig coffee maker inside the hotel to clean your drawers. Girl, that face.
What? Oh my, no.
You haven't seen that yet?
I have not. Okay, yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I saw something with a coffee thing and a white woman, and I said, I don't have the time. And I was like, I can't.
Yeah.
Not knowing what the fuck it was. What is going on? I
Yes.
have questions.
He straight up said, this is how you do it. And of course, I was beelining to the comments, and people are like, you couldn't just wash that in the tub or in the sink?
Seriously.
And the first video that I've been seeing it everywhere. Now that we're talking about it, that we're talking about it, you're going to see it everywhere. But the first video that I saw, and it was a doctor that was reacting to it or stitching the video, and basically said, this doesn't make it any cleaner. It doesn't clean it as well as you think it is, first of all, and you're just nasty. Why would you do that? People drink from that stuff. And get this, it's gone so viral that people have realized that they've stayed at that same hotel as that woman and are asking for refunds, straight refunds, and to the point where the hotel had to replace every single Keurig in that hotel. And now they're suing her for $1 million.
Oh. Oh my, see y'all. Lessons needs to be learned. Not everything needs to be recorded, but thank the Lord that she did, because I can't even fathom that. I'm like, that is just, what are you thinking? And that $1 million suing you because they got the evidence is on, it's gone, it's all over the place.
Listen.
And you know she ain't got that money.
Well, I don't know, because listen, and I say this only because I did a little bit of Instagram stalking and found her, because they have her name plastered everywhere. Found her. She's got, I think, 391,000 followers. And so she's already an influencer of some type. So she has a following. And per the videos, I was looking some of her videos, and, I mean, this doesn't necessarily mean she has money, but it looks from appearance, from the videos, it looks like she has enough money to have the house that she does, because she has
nice.
The aesthetic is really, really nice. So there's a possibility that she does have money. But what's even worse, because I went on her page, and she basically she posted the video today basically saying she didn't necessarily address it head on, but she said, I've been reading these comments and y'all just making me laugh. Yeah. And basically now she's backpedaling, saying it was more me doing that, more or less telling you guys this is what not to do. Honey, you literally told us this is what you do. You're nasty. And you ought to be ashamed. People drink out of those things. I mean, I don't. I have such a weird phobia about so many germs and stuff, especially in hotels and things, and just in public places. But that has confirmed a lot of my worst fears when it comes to that stuff anyway. So I guarantee you, just like, it makes me want to throw up my mouth a little bit. Isn't that crazy?
Yes, like, why?
It's just, people always got to ruin it for everybody else. And it's like, of all things. And first of all, it's just nasty. Second of all, I feel like it's going to be 10 times harder to clean your drawers in a Keurig than it would be just to put it in a sink.
Seriously.
Like, or there was one of the comments, why don't you just pay the $5 to do the laundromat that's on site?
Mm-hmm.
It's not that deep. And then there's videos stitching it where this girl, she's washing her drawers in the tub, basically. Like, this is how you do it, folks. I was like, dang.
I bet
Dang.
she's probably wishing that she spent that $5 so she wouldn't have to be paying $1 million if they actually win.
I mean, and honestly,
$5 a million.
it wouldn't surprise me if they do win because A, they have the evidence, and it's why would you put that out there?
People think, I don't know, it's like when I see some people, and I don't know if it's a joke or rage baiting or whatever it is, but those videos where they take the toilet seats and they put it in their dishwasher, and I was like, why would you do that?
Well, that's so gross.
It's
That's so
so
gross.
gross. Or, and I think this was probably rage bait, but like someone was like cooking macaroni like in their sink, like making mac and cheese in their sink, and I was like, what are you that's gotta be rage bait because
Ugh.
what the hell?
Just for
And then they're
views?
like, but they do the whole thing and look at this mac and cheese. And I was like, it's called sink. You made it in the sink. Like,
No.
use the sink as your mixer and stuff.
That's so gross.
You know what salmonella is in there? All and other things? Like,
And
y'all.
let's be real. Most people aren't cleaning their sinks thoroughly to begin
Not
with.
like that.
Mm.
It's true. And you think you still do, but I bet like you cook a lot of uncooked meats and stuff if you're a meat eater. Like, come on,
Yep.
y'all.
Oof.
I don't get it.
Yeah. Anyway.
You nasty.
Yeah, nasty. Okay, next thing, and then we'll go into the topic. I saw there was this video that I saw. You know that show Pop the Balloon? Have you seen it
Maybe.
where it's like a dating show where they have men or women will come in and the people on the panel more or less have a balloon, and there's a lot of times when the person that they'll
Yes.
instantly come in, it's like pop 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 pop. So anyway, this man comes in and he's from what I see, from what I thought he was a good looking man, and there was this I think they were all black. And to be honest, I think a lot of them in that show are black to begin with, from what I've seen anyway.
I think yeah.
So I don't know if they're tailoring to black folks or if it's a black show. I don't have enough information to confirm nor deny on that. But at least this episode from the clip that I saw on, I think it was YouTube or Instagram. So, but the guy had said to and she was gorgeous. She had her natural hair out and it was probably my length. And he basically said to her that she's not his type because he prefers women with long hair. And as soon as he said that, and most of the black women pop 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 pop, and then one of the black girls, you know how the host will come and say, "Why did you pop your balloon?" And this woman crashed out on him. And honestly, actually, I take that back. I wouldn't say crashed out. I think I personally thought she was very, I think she was proving a valid point. And basically she said more or less, that's a black woman. You don't, and she's like, I guarantee your mama got short hair. She's like, you got nappy hair too. She's like, why are you talking to your fellow black sisters like that? Like, why would you do that? And basically saying more or less, black women already get criticized enough for their hair. Why would you say that? Like, when women can wear braids, or women, yes, but I'm talking about black women. They wear lots of different hairstyles, from braids to dreadlocks to the Bantu knots, wigs, half wigs, all that. They buzz it off, all that stuff. And I honestly, I actually agree with her. I mean, I get you have a preference, but I do believe that was a bit vain of that person, because literally you can just get more hair. But what really bothered me is this man basically said to this black woman, "Oh, you're triggered." And she's like, "I'm not triggered." And I think that's something that a lot of us black women get told a lot when we have a strong opinion on something. And we're not yelling. We're being very, very rational. We might be a little bit passionate about it, but it doesn't mean we're being aggressive. But I believe his narrative to her was saying that she was coming across as aggressive. And I didn't like that.
Yeah.
Because I think as black women, we get that enough. And, coming from my own experience as a black woman, And I even get it in the workplace even today. We either stand up for ourselves or stand on business on what we believe in, and it's too aggressive. And then we don't say anything, then you're weak and, the opposite end of the spectrum. So it's just not necessarily anything for us to really, really talk about, but that was just some stuff that I saw on the internet too that I thought was interesting.
Black women are like the projection on Black women to be this perfect embodiment of everything at 100%. Um, every moment of every day, every second of our existence, that we have to be exactly what people think that we need to be when we actually are just human beings at the end of the day, like everybody else. And I'm so sick and tired of people policing Black women when we're just being direct and assertive and just being communicative. And most people are passive aggressive, and most people don't know how to handle real communication because we're not taught how to really communicate and receive it as communication. We've talked about this a lot on our show with how we three communicate with each other and how we receive it, and how we've had to, teach ourselves how we listen and how we receive things and how to really hear what we're trying to say. But the world still continues to do that in relationships, in workspaces, and just everyday occurrences of just even ordering a drink and just being like, oh, actually I prefer this. Oh, whoa, 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 you don't need to be like that. It's like, I just
Well,
literally
what's
was
wrong with
just,
you?
yeah, did you wake up on the wrong side? No, I'm actually in a good mood. I just said I prefer no sugar with that. Thank you. What are you? Or giving feedback and someone receives it as criticism, and I'm like, no, I'm just giving you asked for the feedback.
Right.
I'm
Or
giving you
when you
feedback.
or when you ask questions and they think that you are basically stepping up to them like you don't know what you're doing. No, I'm asking a question for clarification.
Yes. Yes, bitch. I'm so sick and tired of stuff like that. It drives me up the wall. And for that guy and it happens within the Black community all the time with Black men. I think it is unfortunate. And I'm like, y'all need to start thinking about your mamas and your sisters, if you have them, and your aunties and your grandmothers and everything, that to think about them consciously and how much shit they've had to go through and navigate in the life to have the life that they deserve, and for you to have the life that you deserve. And so when you talk to other Black women, think about how you talk to your mom. And would you talk to your mom that way? Absolutely fucking not. So start talking to Black women with respect and as human beings. And when they talk to you assertively and clearly, it's not an aggression. It's
Right.
just called communication. Don't
Right.
get those things mixed up. You will know when it becomes aggressive.
For sure.
So
Absolutely.
that man,
I
I think,
agree.
is in the wrong, and I'm glad that she put him in his place. And if
I
he
was glad
received
to.
it, he was the one triggered, not her.
Yep. What
Because he was getting called out.
that would be what a projection, more or less.
For sure. A
He was
projection of what's
projecting.
happening.
For
Mhm.
sure. And I think while it's totally fine to have preferences and what you want in a partner, but I think that thought in particular, I think that should have been an inside thought.
Yeah. And if they press, it's out of respect for you, I'd rather not say. I think you're a beautiful person. It's just I have some preferences that just don't match up. And move on with your day. And if they
Right.
get and I would hope that they would also respect those kinds of answers too. You don't
So,
have I
right.
tell everybody, you don't owe everybody all your information.
That's something I'm learning even more now as a 40 something Black woman, more so than ever. Yeah,
Mhm.
you don't owe anybody all of the information. So, yeah, that's so important.
Mm-mm.
So,
Unless you're in a serious relationship or whatever, but other than that, not everybody needs to know all your business. You can keep that
right,
business to yourself and still communicate what you need and what you prefer in a
right.
respectful way.
I think that video hit me too is because and is because I still am trying to embrace my natural hair. And there's days that I love it and days that I absolutely hate it. I'm not gonna, that's just real talk. And I, that woman was gorgeous and her hair was beautiful. But if she's anything like me, which I know there's several, several Black women that have the same feelings that I do about my natural hair, especially when I grew up having straight hair and long, straight hair for a long, long time. And me being natural is still very, very in its infancy. But I think I saw myself in her where I know for me, especially because I still struggle with accepting my natural hair and and obviously I know that's my thing I have to deal with. And but like I said, it's a journey, and I think a lot of Black women, especially when they do the big chop and they start to embrace their natural hair, I think it's a journey that a lot of us go through, and finding, the love for our natural hair, especially because society has told us to hate it for so long.
Mm-hmm.
But I think for me, if that were me in that situation, that would have just confirmed the idea that, oh, I'm not beautiful enough, or whatever society, standards that have been placed in our heads since childhood that we're still trying to unlearn. I know those because I know that was something that popped up to my head when I was just watching the video, and it wasn't even me in that video. And I get, we're not everybody's going to know what's going on, in our minds. But I think, especially in the Black community, we know a lot of the struggle that we all have had to go through, and our ancestors, especially around things like our skin color and hair. So I think those are things that we need to be a lot more cognizant of and aware of, because people are probably, dealing with their own insecurities when it comes to those things. And we don't want to, at least me personally, I'll speak for myself, I don't want to perpetuate those things for those people.
Mm-hmm.
If that's even the right word. I don't want to amplify those feelings for those people, you know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah. I think being as cognizant as you can with an understanding that there are, there's going to be mistakes, but like taking accountability and ownership of that and trying to do better the next time is always like my motto. We're not here to be perfect beings. We're here to learn and try to be better every day as we can with the
right.
time that we're given. And the thing is, this country, as I also like to say, like, if it's not us, then who? And if we can't like support each other and recognize those systemic oppressive behaviors that were perpetrated from white supremacy, then who else is going to do it? We gotta be there for each other, and hold up each other. And also, like, I'm like, damn, it's Black History Month, like, bruh. Okay, I don't know when the time was, but like if
Right.
it was Black History
But
Month,
I
I'd be
sure
like,
saw it this month.
I saw it this month, and you know what? I'd be like, your ancestors better get your ass, okay? Get it together. But if, without us, then who? And I think,
Right. I
you know,
agree.
we could be better. We could always do better um together, and we're always better together. So,
Agreed. Well, let's get into our topic. I know we kind of took a little bit of time in there, but I thought those are some interesting things to kind of bring into the conversation. And so, but let's get into it.
well, I think that actually, like the whole thing about journey and personal growth and everything actually goes with the topic today. I was just
Woohoo!
really, I know, right? I was like, oh, shoot, come on, segue. Come on into the next section. I wanted to discuss today personal growth and how that has influenced our personal relationships, our relationships with each other. Um, and like, kind of talk about our fears and insecurities, how we overcame them in our lives, and how they might have impacted our relationships. And then what do we hope that we gained from overcoming those insecurities and fears, or are we still working on them with some hope of having better understandings of ourselves?
Okay. That's
So
that definitely is a good segue into it. What we
I
were just talking
know.
about. This is unscripted. That was not
Come
planned, by the way,
on.
folks.
It was not. It was not. Well, I'm going to start by asking you, sister, what is a part of your past that you are still trying to find peace with in regards to like your own personal growth journey, your insecurities and your fears?
There's quite a few things, but I think the main thing for me would be my experiences with divorce. Uh,
Mm,
because well, for quite a few reasons. We come from a divorced family, one, and I grew up telling myself and believing full-heartedly that I would never get divorced. And I told myself I'm never going to follow that pattern. I am breaking these patterns, these generational cycles that keep repeating over and over and over, from generation to generation in our family. And lo and behold, I divorced not once, but twice, as I've mentioned before in the podcast. And if you are new to the podcast, then hello, I've been divorced twice. That's something that comes up a lot for me because I think what we went through and seeing our parents go through it and how terrible it was, but yet it was, but terrible meaning what happened to us because of it. But I'm also grateful that it happened because it needed to happen for our family. That needed to happen. But the way that it went down shouldn't happen that way. We've talked about it before, how we were separated, how it was you and I, we were with mom, and Will and Sher'l were with dad. And as we're seeing, as we are continuing to grow into our older years of adulthood, how that still has had an impact and still continues to make an impact on our relationships with each other, even to this day. And it's interesting because, there's a lot of things that we didn't, and I would say don't understand about each other. But I think, particularly with this podcast, we've learned a lot, especially us sisters. There's a lot that went on there that we don't know about, and vice versa. I think I said this on one of the episodes that there was a lot of things that Will and Sher'l received over at Dad's that I was so jealous of, and for a long time. But doing this podcast and talking to Sher'l more about these things, and even with William, realizing that those things still came with a cost. And even though it looked all shiny and exciting from the other side, them going on these amazing trips, but at the end of the day, it wasn't all roses and rainbows as
mm-hmm.
much. And it's not that I thought that they were all happy all the time, but there was a part of me that was like, you got all of this. And I don't want to say I resented them. Well, maybe I did a little bit. And maybe I did, but I don't think it was necessarily meant for them. I think it was more meant for the situation. But anyway, that's kind of off topic. But so kind of gearing back into something that I'm still making peace with is the divorce, because I didn't think that was going to be something, like, I just knew it wasn't going to be something that I went through. But I've had several times people, family members even, tell me that I'm damaged goods because of it. And it amplified the idea that I'm not good enough, or that I have too much baggage now that nobody's going to want me. And while I've been divorced for almost 8 years now, I've definitely grown a lot from that. And a lot of that I know is silly now. And I'm like, of course I'm worthy. I know that. But there are still a lot of days where I will get sad, or I'll have a trigger or something, and it brings back those same fears of like, or it could be something as simple as me watching a reel on Instagram, and it's saying, "Oh, I will never date a single mom with kids." And while logically I know that that's just their preference and that's totally fine, but confirms the idea in my head that, okay, I'm a single mom with kids, therefore I'm not good enough. Which, again, logically, I know that's just not true. It's ridiculous. I know I'm good enough. And honestly, my logical side knows I don't want to be with somebody like that anyway. And also, I think it's unrealistic nowadays because of, I mean, what is, I don't know the exact statistics now, but the last time that I saw was, more than 50% of marriages end in divorce. And that's just the first marriage. And I think it goes higher after every single time you get married. But I think especially when we're starting to become middle-aged people, I think it's kind of unrealistic to think that people don't have children at our age. Yes, there's the people that don't. And, you and Sher'l being part of that, but you guys are very rare. I hope I answered your question.
You did. Yeah. I didn't even think about that because I'm also, for the viewers out there, divorcee. Don't get married when you're in your 20s unless you're really ready.
For real.
Even though I thought I really was. And then you just grow so much in your 20s. And then especially when you hit your 30s, you definitely are like, "Who who 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 is that girl I see?"
Oh, I thought you were going to do Michael Jackson. Who is it?
Oh,
Is it a friend of mine?
that works too. Oh, I think I would say for me is I'm still trying to wrestle with, probably for a while, how I distant myself from a lot of people. I love my alone time. I really do. And oftentimes it gets misinterpreted as like I'm super lonely or whatever. And I just really like being alone with my own energy and my own thoughts. Not all the time, but like I don't know, due to like traumatic experiences and things and just having the desire to craft out my own identity and who I am. I've realized like in my life that has become like a definite pattern where like I'm just so hyper independent that I don't know how to ask for help when I really need it, or seek connections with family or with close friends just because I'm like I just had so many experiences where when I've had the courage to do it, it's just been an extra added unnecessary traumatic experience. Um,
That
so I've
probably
always
pushed
had
you more
like,
back into that cocoon.
oh, for sure, for sure. So that's something that I'm like, I don't know if it's a fear of mine that like I've missed out on so much time with loved ones that when time finally has an expiration date that I will regret the missed times that I've had. And so I often wrestle with that. It's definitely a part of my fears that
Is
I,
that something you talk to your therapist about?
oh, yeah. And she gives me some clarity of like why I am the way that I am. And I'm still working through it. So, yeah, that would be mine.
Well, while you were talking, it kind of reminded me too, like with a divorce, it hasn't just taught me that I'm not good enough. I think that idea alone of I'm not good enough bleeds into other parts of my life. So it becomes so much more than just the divorce. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like when you were saying that, it kind of kind of triggered that thought.
Well, it's interesting you said that because I was curious of like how do you start to see that in your different relationships and connections and stuff with other people, romantic partners, siblings and stuff. Like how has that your divorce experiences impacted those other connections?
I'll talk about like our relationship with us three sisters. When we have, say, disagreements, and we've talked about this before, and I'll be open and honest about it. I shut down. I shut down very quickly because I don't feel like I'm good enough to be heard because of past experiences. And there may be things that that you and Sher'l are unconsciously not doing on purpose or anything may do that might trigger me to do something. Like it literally could be something so small, like it could be an eye roll, a change in your tone or attitude. And it could be because of something completely irrelevant to what our conversation is. But for whatever reason, because I'm so hyper focused and fixated on making sure people's emotions are intact. And it's kind of the idea of when we were growing up, and this is something I've talked to my therapist about. I believe you experienced this too, and probably Sher'l. A lot of the times when Dad would come home, we didn't know what mood we were going to get that day. So therefore, I changed my entire being to adjust so that they would feel comfortable. And me doing that as I've gotten older has made me realize I'm not benefiting myself or the conversation that's being had because I'm not putting forth whatever my 2 cents is, which could be something that could help us resolve the conversation.
Mm,
Does that make sense?
it does make sense. Well, it's like, I don't know if it's a thing, but emotional, not necessarily like when we're talking about tone policing. It's like playing a detective of like emotions, and like all I hear right now is dun 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 dun, and one of those like screens pop up with like, okay, they just walked to the door. They're breathing heavy. Check. They put down their briefcase really heavy. Check. I think. Oh no! Alert! 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 They're angry. They're
Yep.
angry. They're angry. Oh no! Oh no! Abort! 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 Leave! 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 Like try to assess the emotional experience of somebody else, so you know how to like protect yourself to get to feel safe again or not to feel anxious again. um that's what I was like, those are the images that I saw, which makes complete sense. Like when you talk about that experience of Dad coming home, I do remember that very vividly, of being like, okay, well, hopefully you had a good day at work today, because that means like if you had a good day at work, then it's going to be peaceful in the house.
We were clear.
Yes, and we're going to have like probably pizza, like a good meal, and laugh. We'll probably watch a movie and have candy. Yeah, yeah, yeah. If it was a bad day, then it was like looking for whatever he could to let out that anger, and it
Yep.
was hell. As Michael
Yep.
Jackson says when he talks about going on tour, we went through hell.
I can see him right now. I can see Michael in that video right now.
I don't know why
Oh,
my brain goes to those kinds of connections, but
because you're an artist.
oh.
You're creative.
But yeah,
No, that's so
that
true.
makes
That's so
sense.
true. And it's not just in my personal relationships. It's at work too. It's even in, my interactions with strangers, but it bleeds into all of these other areas of my life. And it's so crazy because in my head, the entire time I'm saying, Candyce, stop, just stop right now. Like, it's not that serious. All of my tools almost kind of go out the window. But what my therapist has been, we've been really working on regulating my nervous system because most of my life I've sat in fight or flight. And so as they call, I'm always feeling like the bear's coming to get me.
Mm, mm-hmm.
And I notice it a lot. And even when I'm at work, when there's nothing going on, no stress or anything, I notice my heartbeat is constantly like going faster than normal. Like it's like I'm waiting for the next shoe to drop. And it's just not a healthy way to live. That definitely bleeds over into a lot of other things.
I'm trying to even think of like what the example I used, how it bleeds into everything. I mean, I guess it kind of already answered it, kind of. Because I mean, it bleeds into just me continuing to take care of myself when I just need maybe um, or how I isolate myself. I feel like I really do navigate social anxiety because of it. So, like, being in social settings, even though, like, one-on-ones I'm pretty good on, or smaller groups I'm pretty good in, or if I'm super familiar with people, then I can loosen up and kinda be more, like, just like I am right now. when it comes to people I don't know or new settings or something like that, I'd rather go and be in a corner by myself having a drink and watching people versus to talk to them because I feel like a sense of like I have to open up myself and share more. And I don't know how I'll be received. Cause like I said, I receive myself very well. I have a good time, like I danced for like a good hour before I went to work today because I needed to release some sadness.
Well, I was
And
gonna say your wiggles.
my wiggles. um, that's funny. But like, I do notice how it impacts, like, I start to, like, it's interesting, even in how I talk. I've noticed throughout time how I have developed an anxious stutter when I'm around people, or like I get brain fog instantly because I'm trying to say something. I can't recall words. I'll even forget friends' names that I've known for years because I get so overwhelmed. So it's like I'm so because of my hyper independence, I've also become so isolated from knowing how to communicate with other human beings. And I do oftentimes feel a little bit more myself in the artistic setting because it's like now just get to create, so that for me requires a different kind of brain and a kind of different way of talking and opening self because that's required of you. But in life I'm just like I'm just going to be in the corner and people are like come on and I'm like I'm good, just so awkward. And oftentimes I'll get like I remember, I'm not going to say who, I've worked with this artist before and they're considered, I think, famous. No shade. That sounds so shady, huh? They're considered famous. No, they really are. They're well known outside, like across the country for their work. And we got to work in a show together. And I was going through some shit, but also I was like dealing with like my insecurities of why am I here? Do I deserve this? This person, blah blah blah. If I think I'm like a weirdo because I don't know how to like talk and blah blah. So I isolated myself, and of course this person was like not found me, but actually bumped into me, and he was like, "Oh, hey, how are you?" And I was like, "God," like so. It was bad, and he just looked at me like and straight up disappeared. And then when Facebook was still a thing, because it's not really as, popping anymore, he like added almost all the other actors and did not add me. Which I mean, whatever. But also I was like, oh, I mean, it's
But
stupid. It's like,
it probably confirmed some of the ideas that in your head that were already there, even though they weren't true.
yes. Oh, for sure. For sure. I was like, I guess, because mine does translate, I think, again, like for similar to you, sister, is like, I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy of these connections. What's the point? Will I be truly seen and accepted when I can just be on my own and do that by myself?
I notice, well, two things. I notice when you are in around people that you don't really know very well, you do this nervous laugh.
Really?
Yeah, or you'll do little jabs, but like they're not like gut-wrenching jabs, but you'll do little jabs and then you laugh it off as if like to make it not as serious.
Ah, I can, like,
That's something I've noticed about you.
what
And
does it sound like? What's my laugh sound?
girl, I don't even I don't even know right now. I'll if I remember, I'll tell you what. If I remember, I'll be like, "That's it. That's the laugh."
Okay. Okay.
So I'll remind you if I remember. But and also something that you might want to consider is you are in the perimenopause range in that age, and while that brain fog and stuff, some of the stuff that you were talking about, the stutter and I know it probably happens outside of those other things, but some of that stuff is, I mean, a lot of the perimenopause symptoms.
Right. Well, I mean, even before
But it
premen,
gets amplified.
it's amplified, yeah. Because I remember so vividly. I was in college, and I was with a friend, and she was like, "Oh, please introduce me to your, like, I wanted to meet them this summer," and I was like, "Sure." went up to, and I just got so anxious that I was like, I'm so sorry, I don't remember your name." And she looked at me and was just like so hurt. And I was like, I just literally just my brain would not function anymore. And I felt, and I apologized, but I can tell like that like it hurt her, and I felt very bad. So like now I developed a tool of like being like, "Oh yes, I am blah blah," and like, "Have you met my friend before?" And they usually lean in and like, "Oh yeah, hi, I'm such and such," kind of thing. Like I set it up for them to do that work versus me having to, out of fear that that will happen again.
That's fair. That's actually I do something similar as well because I do the same thing in some regard, and it's crazy how it just comes out of nowhere. So those tools definitely can help. And I will say though, it does suck when the friends don't take the bait. But
Yeah,
more than in
seriously.
most times they usually do though. Oh yeah, my name is so and so.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Are you picking up what I put down?
No, for real,
And if
for
you
real.
don't, well then what do you hope to gain from facing your fears and insecurities?
I mean, it's just more confidence. I mean, I would say, and I don't want to come across as if I don't have confidence because I definitely have confidence in myself, which is shown in just small things. I mean, a lot of big things too, but I would say getting up and going to work for me personally lately, because I'll be honest, work has been very challenging and pushing me in ways and not in good ways. There's been things that have been going on that I don't think that are really, really known by some of those people. It doesn't make it right. But, I'm very clear on the way that I communicate at work. And, there have been times when I've been more or less told, not in these words, but that the way I say things is too much. And those are things that I've been told a lot of my life, and especially with the idea of like divorce and like you're not good enough. It just, it amplifies the idea again that I'm not good enough. Um, when I've been very clear, I'm like, I'm being very straightforward and direct. That's the way that I communicate
Mhm.
in a work setting because I don't want any sort of emotion to get mixed up in it, and you will never question if I'm being emotional or not. Especially, and
Mhm.
I've had to learn that because of for a lot of reasons. A being a Black woman in America, but
Mhm.
a lot of the work settings, and in particular being in Utah with predominantly white people and working in yeah. Anyway, that. But
I'm gonna still wanna make a quick comment.
okay.
That's also called tone policing.
Yeah. No, for sure.
So
No,
I'm like, if you we already talked about this earlier with the Black woman saying what she needed to say to that brother, and also I'm like in the workplace, like people need to be trained about emotions and like keeping that shit at the door. Like,
yeah.
come on, y'all. You shouldn't like being in spaces where you run by emotions is just not fair, and it doesn't get anything done. And also tone policing Black people, and then also like people of color. If you are a white counterpart, like come on now, you know better. Just wanted to say that.
I think too, kind of to add on to your point, I think it makes it even worse when those people are doing those said things. Say, for example, say I'm being direct, and when I'm discussing things with managers or employees, it's very much very direct. Someone will ask me something, hey, how do I do this? And I don't like to just give people the answers. I like to help them understand how to do it so they know how to do it next time.
Right.
So,
That
and
makes sense.
I've always been that type of person because there's so much more that I personally, and I'm not just talking about in my job now, but just in general, in any work setting, there's so much more I can get done if I can teach somebody how to do something. And I'm very clear, like I give notes, I'll have SOPs, and I'm very much like I'll do screenshots and everything. So it's literally like it gives you straightforward, like you can't mess up. I'll even highlight things so they know exactly where to go on a page. So I'll say, per our conversation, please see attached, but that has sometimes been told to me that I come across as if I don't want to help people. And I'm like, are you kidding? Or that you're condescending. How is that condescending?
You would know if it's condescending.
No, for
You
real.
you don't know how to follow instructions?
That
That's
part.
condescending.
That part.
Giving somebody, being able, like, it's I don't know where I heard this metaphor. I think I heard it yesterday. You don't go out there, and if someone is hungry and they're like, hey, I want to eat some fish, you don't just go, oh, okay, let me go and catch that for you. You teach the motherfucker how to fish. And you show them the instructions on how get the worm, put it on the hook. This is what you do. This is how you throw it. I've only fished once in my life. But like, you know what I mean? You can do all the work, but that's not going to service the other person who might need to know how to do that because you might not be there all the time. So, like, that's doing a disservice for your company if you don't
Absolutely.
show them how to do it themselves. That is not condescending. That is actually productive. It's counterproductive if you just do it for them all the time. That also
Right.
means they don't know how to do their damn job. Now, that's me being condescending. Do you know not to do how to do your job? Did they not train you well?
No, for real. And
So,
for real. And I've always been like that, where I will try to teach as much as I can, and so that they can do it themselves. And I
a
will say that,
procedure?
right. And there are times I get frustrated, and I will say, please see attached email regarding the conversation that we discussed in the past with the instructions of, blah blah blah.
I do that too
Right.
in my
And
workplace.
like, I don't understand it, but I've also been told before, that they don't say it like this, but it's more like, it's almost when you question people, they think that you are not coming for their job. It's almost like you're questioning their ability. And I've never done that. I've never tried to do that. I always tell everybody when I do something, it could be in theater, it could be in the workplace. Anytime I do something, I try to tell people, hey, this is the way my mind works. I'm
Mm-hmm.
very clear. I have to be very clear on my instruction. If I don't understand, if there's any sort of gray area, I'm going to question it, and it has nothing to do with you. It's just I'm trying to understand so that I can make the best decision and do my job correctly, so that I don't have to come back to you 80 times because I did it wrong. No,
Right,
I'm
exactly.
questioning you because something came up where, oh, well, I learned this 2 weeks ago, but now this same situation is contradicting what I learned 2 weeks ago. So now I'm questioning what I learned 2 weeks ago. So now I'm asking you for clarity. That's not me
Mm-hmm.
trying to size you up in your job. That's me trying to understand. At that point, me as a manager would be like, hey, I can understand why that would be confusing. But this is one of those weird situations where it's an exception, where you would do this and instead of this situation because A, B, and C happened. Easy,
Right.
you know?
Right.
So, but all of that to say, I think it's the confidence part for me that I would want to bring more into it, which again, like I was saying before, it's not that I don't have confidence. I do have, it's like I was saying earlier, I think it takes confidence to get up out of bed to go to work sometimes, because trust me, there's times I just want to just be like this all day at work and just not say anything. But I still show up even though I don't want to. And I think that takes a level of confidence. And I'm
It
not just talking
does.
about work. I'm talking about just life in general. It could be me getting up in the day to make sure that my kids are okay. Obviously, I got to take care of my kids, but still, like, I have my own personal battles that I'm dealing with, but at the end of the day, I still have responsibilities, and there's still a level of something in my head that tells me, "Nope, we got to do this. You can do this. You can do this." Even though everything else against me in the world right now is saying, "No, you're not good enough. You can't do this. You stay in that bed today. Stay in that bed today because you're not good enough to get up."
No, I'm like, that's why we survived like 2016. I mean, I think that's a huge statement of getting out of bed takes so much confidence and so much courage and bravery every day to choose to live, to choose to go and take a shower, brush your teeth, and get in your car and go do what you need to do. It takes so much energy when you don't want to do it, but you do it anyway. And pick yourself up and show up for yourself so you can understand that despite this moment that you're experiencing, this narrative that keeps running yourself that you're not good enough, that you despite it every single time by choosing yourself and choosing that no, I really am. And it's not just convincing your brain with words, you're showing yourself through action, which is a huge thing. And I can
Absolutely.
relate to that. I think it's like I often will put myself in situations that challenge my fears and insecurities. I mean, God, that's how I've got here as an actor and an artist is challenging myself and staying curious and asking myself the true questions like, is this true? Is this real? Is this really how I'm feeling? Or is this just like the demons in the back of the head trying to tell me something other than the truth? And so putting yourself in those situations that show yourself through action that you are enough and beyond enough, or that you aren't really alone in the world is the reason why you're able to even have the conversation about it in the first place, I
Right.
think.
Right.
So I think it's a win. It's a win whenever we decide to pick ourselves despite our insecurities and our fears. So
And
I think that's beautiful.
trust me, those the outside world will amplify them insecurities so quick to make you want to go back in that bed and make you regret getting up out of that bed. But
Mhm.
most
But
days you're
you
like, I'm still going. Let's go. Let's go.
seriously, it's too bad that we can't have, like I mean, thank goodness we don't have it, but sometimes I'm like, I wish that we all had, like, a screen that showed, "Today, my insecurities that I'm working with today is boop, 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 boop," and we're like, "Okay, so everything you're gonna be saying to me is really just about this for yourself. Okay, cool. I'm clear. I'm good. I'm gonna try to be cognizant of that, and my insecurity of the day is this, boop, boop, boop. I couldn't fit in that dress today. I'm feeling extra, like, not in my body, and I need people to, like, get out my way."
Just smile and nod and move on.
Yes. Thank you.
Don't
And
talk to me
yes, I
today. I don't wanna
right.
hear your stories. I don't wanna talk to
Right.
you. I just wanna put my headphones in and do my job. Thank you.
Yes, and hand me that piece of cake. Thank you.
Thank you. Maybe hand me too.
Yeah, I don't want fruit. I don't want veggies. I think that was a really good conversation. I think once again we all deal with our insecurities and fears and how a significant experience, how that can affect us and impact certain ways that we show up in the world, in our relationships and with our loved ones, even like just with ourselves on a day-to-day basis. And so I think like what Candace said really resonated with me of just getting out of bed every day takes a whole lot of confidence. And I always say courage because really it's a practice. And the more we practice it, the easier it'll get every single day. Even on those hard damn days when you do it, you're able to do even more every single day. So it's like, I hope people are applauding themselves, especially during times like this, that we are still showing up for in our lives and deciding to live despite the shit that we have to deal with every day.
Amen to that. Before we close, I think it's important to know for people that are listening, it's okay to, because I know both Latoya and I are in therapy, and and therapy has helped me a lot through these insecurities that I have that constantly go in my head all the time of you're not good enough because of A, B, and C, or the reoccurring thoughts of you're not good enough because you've been divorced twice, or all the things. But I think if you are struggling with something and you feel alone, reach out to somebody that you trust or find a therapist. And I recommend that if you don't like the first, second, third, fourth therapist that you've been aligned with, don't give up, because it took me quite some time to find a therapist that I actually really click with. And I almost equivalate therapy to dating in a way, finding your therapist,
Mm,
because not everybody is going to be your people, especially in a therapy setting. I've been to some crappy therapists, and no shade to them because they probably worked for some other people, but they just weren't my people.
mhm.
So But I think it's important to realize that and to understand that Latoya and I also doing the work, and doing the work is what's going to propel you forward. Even if you just get out of bed for a second and you're like, you know what? I'm thankful that I woke up today, and then you lay back down. I'm really starting to learn as I get older, and I still can be a lot better. But really, the things that I'm grateful for don't have to be these grandiose things. It literally can just be getting out of bed, or you know what? I got gas last night instead of getting it this morning. And the amount of times that I was like, no, I'll be fine. And I've learned that lesson. I was like, nope. Anytime I am even questioning the gas, it's like, nope, you're doing it before you get home. We're not doing that, but it's those little things. It could be that, you called your mom today, or, it could be you wrote in your journal. I encourage anybody that's listening or watching. It's easy to give up on yourself, but don't, and just continue to find those small wins to keep pushing you forward in a good direction.
Amen. I would agree. That's so interesting. There's a lyric that as I'm studying for this new play, and that came to me when I was listening to you. And one of the lines is, "Losing's easy, winning's hard,"
That's
because
so real.
it does take a lot of work and patience to work through your traumas and find a path towards healing, or knowing how to navigate those traumas a little bit more easier as you experience them. And I would agree with everything that you said about therapists. Like, how many therapists have I had in my life? My goodness. And taking some time. And it is like, my therapist literally said what you said, was that it's like dating. You find one, you go to some and it doesn't work out, and you find until you find the one that really is your person. And then also, like, the other thing is, it's okay to also outgrow your therapist and find someone else that works for where you've grown to take you to the next level that you're looking to grow into. So, but it's like, therapy has always, especially when I found a good therapist, it's just made me better and better understand myself and my interpersonal relationships and how I show up in them and the dynamics and all that stuff. So it's made me even more confident in knowing how I can navigate the world. So I say, I get that it's scary. And once when you start doing it, it's going to be like a really beautiful, life changing thing for you. Just know it does take time, but it's worth it.
Amen. And with that, should we talk about our joy of the week?
Yeah, yeah. What's yours?
My joy of the week is I stood up for myself, even though it was in a really uncomfortable setting, even though it was really hard. And despite being kind of told these negative things over and over and over, I didn't let those people push me to a point where I gave up on my thought, because what I was saying was real, was very real to me, and I could have easily just been like, well, they clearly aren't hearing me. And you know what? Really, at the end of the day, they probably still didn't hear me, but I still didn't. But I also wasn't going to give up on what I believed and what was real for me and true for me. So that's my joy.
That's huge. Okay, sister.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's incredible. That sounds like even more so like a joyful breakthrough.
It's hard though, because my whole nervous system gets into its cycle of like, okay, nope, we're gonna shut down. We're gonna shut down. It's just they're not,
Mhm.
and I'm like, no, no. I think with that comes the idea of you're being aggressive, you're being too passionate, you're being too much, and like, no, I'm literally just telling you what it is.
Exactly.
It's not anything that you're putting on. There's no labels on it. It's just what it is. So.
And as I like to say, that sounds like a you problem, not a me thing. So I think
Now, if
that
I could say that, I totally would in that situation.
now they definitely would be like, receive that as, I'm like, oh my gosh, that was so. And
How
I'd be like,
dare
no,
you?
I'm just being just very direct and transparent.
Ooh.
But
What about
Utah likes passive aggressive stuff, so
that? Seriously, that should be one of the sayings for Utah,
seriously.
because the passive aggressiveness is crazy. Is Ooh, it's alive and well.
It's a whole topic. We should do what was your passive aggressive experience this week?
No, for real. What is your joy?
My joy of the week is I finally returned to my Pilates class and it kicked my
Yay!
butt, but I'm still did pretty well. I was
Good
very
job.
happy about that. So I'll say that I got out of bed early and went to class and I'm glad I did. So
And now you get to relax after this and just chill the rest of the night. Well, whatever that looks like to you, but I'm sure you're going to be studying that script. So knowing
you
you.
know, I'm actually reading another screenplay that I have to do a reading for tomorrow.
Thank you guys for joining us for another episode of Sisters Unscripted. Sher'l, we missed
Oh,
you, but we know you're not missing us that much because you enjoying that sun and not this rain and this nasty, disgusting inversion. We hope you guys enjoyed the episode. We would really appreciate it if you guys would go over and give us a 5-star review so that we can continue building our audience. Share it with one friend. Also, you can follow us on the socials with our handle being @Sisters Unscripted. You can also send us a topic, shout outs or questions, comments, concerns, whatever, at sistersunscripted@gmail.com. And you can also send us text messages, voice messages. I will leave the phone number in our show notes. We would love to hear from you guys. We appreciate everything you guys do for us. We have the best audience and can't wait to see you guys next episode. And sisters,
out. Bye.